Welcome to the Spare Parts Racing Podcast, your podcast for all things motorsports. With your hosts, Sean Chavarella, Stephen Clary, and Taylor Moore.
Hear that music?
Hello and welcome to another week's episode of Spare Parts Racing. I'm your host, Sean.
I'm Steven.
And I'm Taylor.
And yeah, let's try this again because we started recording 5 minutes in and realized, it wasn't. So, anyway, how's everyone doing this week?
Tired.
Yeah. We lost an hour. It's depressing.
I mean, I understand you can't use the same jokes used last time. I get it. You could at least come with some energy now. Even though we're starting over. It's only been 2 minutes, 5, whatever. It's all the same. It's all relative. But yes, we sprung forward clockwise, so on the bright side we have sun.
Waiting. I know. It's going to be 17 tomorrow, 18 on Wednesday. So I'm excited. Some warmth and some sun.
Exactly. Hey, Steve, you want golf Wednesday?
Yeah, we could do that.
Exactly.
We're not, it would fit really well considering we're not in the hockey playoffs anymore. So
Yeah, that's a little ironic. Get knocked out from playoffs and go golfing. Ugh, yeah. Anyway, I thought it was a pretty good weekend. I watched more racing this week than I had probably the last 6 months. You got to watch F1, F2, Formula Academy, IndyCar. What was it? Indy, NXT, I still hate that. USF 2000, USF Pro, NASCAR. Wow. Didn't do Xfinity or Truck because I only had so much time in a weekend. And on top of that, I went to a TFC game. So you know what? I actually think it was a very good, and I had Sarah's birthday to deal with. So I watched a very
considering you basically just skipped your wife's birthday from the sounds of it.
Oh no, we had a whole dinner Sunday. I was just still able to watch everything.
You know what? As long as you remembered it this year, that's all we can ask for.
Oh my God, you forget it one time.
The bar is on the floor.
The bar is low.
I mean, to be fair, yes, I forgot her birthday one time. However, she still said yes to marrying me. So really, I win.
True, you are married now, years after you did that. So, yeah, I guess that's good. I guess there are a lot of things that can't be forgiven with love. But anyway,
that's a lot. Wait till I'm 80-something, and I forget it all the time. But
Oh dear.
Just know that you will never ever be allowed to forget that you forgot at one point.
It's a good thing I forget things.
We will be there to remind you.
I'll just forget it again.
Absolutely.
Sure.
So yes, a lot of racing, a lot of good racing too. At least I think it was good.
I feel like it depends on who you ask for, in terms of NASCAR. But yeah, you're truly dedicated. I caught the F1 race in full, and then 80% of IndyCar followed along to NASCAR stuff. Thank you, Jeff Gluck, for live tweeting. But yeah, a lot less. I feel like I should have watched F1 Academy on International Women's Day. But unfortunately, my work schedule was packed with meetings that day, so I wasn't able to catch it.
Yeah, we can put a pin in that conversation for now, and we'll come back to Formula Academy. What?
So funny.
That's a great joke. Fuck off.
So funny.
That is an amazing pun. But yes, we can get to Formula Academy. Just before we start, I'll go through the top 10 of, our 3 big series that we like. First, F1, your top 10 point scorers were Verstappen, no surprise. Perez second, he finally is, being that good tail gunner, I guess. Leclerc third, Piastri fourth, Alonso fifth, George Russell sixth, Ollie Bearman, his debut, seventh. We can talk about him as well. Lando Norris 8th, Hamilton 9th, and running up 10th, everyone's favorite German, Hülkenberg. sorry.
Hulkenberg.
Honestly, I didn't want to do it a second time, and my throat was a little sore, so I just didn't go for it.
Smart.
And on the IndyCar side, your top 10 was Joseph Newgarden winning the race and starting off his championship, bid, as we said last week. Pato O'Ward second, Scott McLaughlin third is your podium. So 2 Penske's and a McLaren. Then you had third Penske and fourth and Will Power. Colton Herta fifth, Pelot sixth, Rosenquist seventh, Rossi eighth, Dixon ninth, and Rena's VK 10th. Again, we can dive into some IndyCar and everyone's thoughts on that race as well, because I have some thoughts about maybe a particular rookie who I'm now jumping on that bandwagon. But, and then in NASCAR we had...
Here we go.
Christopher Bell, who is way out in front of this one. Pretty literally, he had a very good race, winning. Chris Buescher second, Gibbs third, Keselowski fourth, Ryan Blaney fifth, Chastain sixth, Truex seventh, McDowell eighth, Briscoe ninth, Reddick 10th. Pretty average top 10 for NASCAR. And I know I mentioned it to you guys, but I have to mention it again. I bet on every single person that came second. So, ride in that struggle bus of sports betting on motorsports this weekend. So close, yet so far, probably the worst you can actually do.
I mean, F1, that's not really surprising. The other two, that's just bad luck. Though,
Yeah.
then again, Pato's sort of really shoehorning himself into that. Yeah, this guy likes to finish second.
Is that like a reference to like his Instagram likes?
No,
No?
not
Okay.
at all. He finished second to start the year last year
I
too.
know.
Then did he finish second? He finished second at Texas too. Like
Uh,
4 weeks later.
yeah, I'm just referencing, what was it, Pato's thirsty Instagram likes he's been known to get caught with.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
so, you know.
yes. His thirsty.
I love Pato. I really do. Like, that man's amazing. So yeah, he came second, and yeah, and I had Chris Buescher, who I guess no one would have saw coming, but you know,
No, probably not.
we talked about it. He had very long odds going to the weekend. I think it was like plus 17 or something like that, 1700, and yeah, so close so far. Oh well,
Well,
bring it back next
better
week.
luck next week.
Yeah, I think it's just NASCAR I get to bet on, so that should be fun.
Oh,
But
yeah, because
yes.
IndyCar is like done until May.
Yep. Get all your thoughts out now.
They have the
Weird.
FOMO club.
Oh, no. Okay, no. We're not even going there. Dumb.
Oh, but we will.
Okay, so what do we want to start with? Because I would love to start with Bearman, because I feel like that was such a happy moment from this weekend.
I think that's a great place to start, and should really start with the elephant in the room, and that is so Ferrari did this on purpose, right? To get signs out of the car. No?
Why, to make Leclerc look better?
Exactly. Oh,
I don't think
you beat
can
him one
purposely
time.
I don't think you can give him appendicitis in retaliation for making Leclerc look not great.
you just see Vassar with a baseball bat over signs that he's sleeping, going right for that appendix every single time.
But did you see the the throwback photo that
Him and his dad.
yeah, it was him and his dad, and I guess his dad at some point had appendicitis and was out, so it was interesting moment. But yeah, Ollie Bearman, excellent drive from him. I honestly yeah, okay, we know who's gonna win. It's gonna be Verstappen, but to me, you have to I think at this point for F1 fans, you have to find something to be interested in the race. Otherwise, you're just gonna sit there and be like, well, this is boring. Max is gonna win again. So for me, I was really paying attention to Bearman and being like, where is he going to get points in his debut? Because he had pole for F2. That's what he was giving up to drive the
Yep.
car. So I thought it was fantastic. He got driver of the day, absolutely deserving of it. 7th is incredible for him in his first drive. So 10 out of 10.
Can you imagine being a teenager and basically, yeah, you're trying to get to F1. It's a dream. Ferrari comes up and says, hey, I know you just got it on pole. You're going to finish the weekend now with us.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to hop in FP3, get sort of acclimatized, and then right into qualifying. Yeah, driver of the day, I would definitely go with driver of the weekend. Like that performance.
Yeah,
At 18.
it was really, really good. I know, incredible. I'm super excited for him. Like I think, you know, in so many ways, drives like that solidify your opportunity in the future, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Ask Nick DeVries.
Or
yikes.
who else could you ask from last year, Sean?
Liam Lawson.
Liam Lawson.
Yeah, exactly. You did
Yeah,
great on
but-
like your debuts and stuff, and you still get kicked to the curb.
But
Yep.
you have to remember the situation that they were dealing with. They were in the Red Bull family. It is completely different than Ferrari.
Yes, where they just signed Lewis Hamilton to a multi-year deal, and
Yeah.
Leclerc-
Yeah, no one's coming
But
through Ferrari.
Bearman, okay, but
No one's getting
Bearman
in there.
knows that. No one's coming through. Okay, but also you have to remember that there are other teams within the Ferrari family in F1. I mean, Haas could change things up
For
next
now.
year. We
Haas,
don't know
right.
that.
Yes, yes. Gene Haas will want to spend money. Yes.
Yeah,
On on a young gun who's not gonna want like a bunch of money. Yes,
That's why Mick Schumacher's
maybe.
part of the Ferrari family, right?
Oh yeah.
Mm. He could end up at Mercedes. Who knows? Mercedes is looking for someone.
That's fair. But
And as far as we know, Toto's taken his good sweet time with that. So who
So
knows?
wait and rushing it.
I think also the Bearman thing, it goes to show that there's a few people in F1 that should not be in F1 anymore. There's too much talent, I think, sitting on the outside. And it's kind of like since Drive to Survive, these drivers have gotten popular, and therefore teams don't want to jettison them. Like, okay. In my opinion, might be controversial. Guys who I think should get the boot from F1 for just maybe some fresh faces, or if it wasn't for Drive to Survive, would have already been out of F1. Sergio Perez, I think. I think Hulkenberg. I think Magnussen. I think Ricardo. I think Bottas.
Yes, I agree. I could argue, well, I mean, massively Logan Sargent needs to get the boot. Like at this point, we all know why he's there.
Honestly, Sergio wasn't even that bad this weekend. I thought he was.
I was gonna say he's at least still got the thing of, well, he's young. We just want to see him out
Yeah.
there and trying.
See, okay, well,
It helps that he's paying for the seat, but
It does.
true.
Listen, we let
True.
Stroll fucking sit out in Williams for like 3 years, and he was better
But
than that
Stroll-
team.
Stroll is like has talent. He's very underrated, and he gets a bad rap. And he
Okay,
didn't have a good race this
At the
weekend.
same- at
But
This
same
weekend,
time,
he
he's
was
still
properly
he's-
rated.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's also starting
Yeah.
to get there. Not willing to put
Yeah.
him with the Magnussen and Hulkenberg. At the same time, it's been. I really don't want to date us right now, but it's been what 8 years.
Listen,
Since he
Stroll's
debuted.
on the same step as
Yeah.
Gasly, probably like a Gasly and Ocon. Like they're Gasly, Ocon,
Oh, man.
Hamilton, and Alonso are that next step that has to go out after the next 5 go out. Okay,
I don't know if you can throw Hamilton in there necessarily, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
based on recent
Well,
performance.
I think we know that Hamilton is done. I wonder, like, I am starting to wonder though, like, are the car packages I feel like are probably different also for Hamilton. Oh my gosh, I sound like such a Lewis apologist now, and it's like so bad.
What a way.
Oh right, because
Like-
he's going to
Like Sean,
Ferrari.
it's like Sean with Kip and Simpson.
I will admit I'm wrong.
but-
Okay.
Like, so on his pit strategy this weekend was terrible. It was the same thing with Norris. Norris also screwed himself with a penalty, but I could not understand why Mercedes went with what they went with Lewis, because it didn't make sense with like the strategies of the other team, and also just like how the tires were doing on the track. So I mean, like, as soon as he didn't like pit with everybody else and he was going long on the mediums, I think it was mediums, I was like, this is not gonna work. This is not gonna work. And it didn't. He was what, 8th?
Yes. Norris was 8.
9th.
8.
9th. Yeah, yikes.
So yeah,
Like-
not the greatest. Did you see the other thing for Mercedes that came out this morning?
No.
Oh, apparently their simulator is actually messed up, and the data they're getting for it, they cannot get to match with real life. So, and they've had this issue for like 3 years, and they still haven't been able to fix it.
That's bad.
Oh my gosh. Are the numbers better in the sim than they are on the track?
Yes.
Has to be.
So they're getting
my
good numbers in the
God.
sim, but they cannot turn that into the track because something is wrong with their calibration.
That's hilarious.
Maybe that's why Hamilton's like, I need to leave because this sim's broken. Therefore, our data's broken. Therefore, we can't get the actual proper return.
I do wonder though, because like I have been seeing a few things like, Toto's been, doing his Toto thing and out in the media. And there was a clip from an interview that I saw saying that like he's not gonna rush at any decision, but Lewis pushed him to make a decision, and I'm like, are you a little salty that Lewis has essentially given up on Mercedes and is leaving for Ferrari? Because it kind of sounds like Toto's pretty salty about it.
I would say Mercedes was the 5th best team this weekend.
Yeah, they honestly didn't look strong. I mean, nobody was as bad as oh, you know what? Where did Ocon finish?
13th.
It was only Gasly that struggled. He had a gearbox issue like right out the gate.
Yeah,
which
he
sucked.
didn't get a lap in. Yeah, Gasly sucked and Stroll hit the
Alpine's-
wall, and then yeah.
Yeah. Alpine's a tire fire on wheels, basically.
Well, at any point, if you have a driver sitting 21st in a 20-car championship, you know something's going very, very wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Bottas was bad this weekend too.
Yeah, the Saubers were not that good.
It's
Daniel
just-
Ricciardo is looking terrible. Yuki seems to be schooling
Yeah.
him in the first 2 races.
Yeah.
Like pace-wise, yeah, there was the awkward thing of, let him pass, and then Yuki's meltdown first week. Second week, you had Ricciardo kind of had a bad pit stop, and then I think he spun
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, there was some interesting things that happened, but I mean the most exciting thing was Bearman. And I will say the other thing I'm trying to get my head into is watching the races with all right, Max wins, like Max might win. But wouldn't it be amazing to watch Max win every race and be the first driver in history to ever do that? You'd be watching it, like, sure, it might be boring for who actually wins. We can find other things, but that would be insane. It's never been done.
Did people turn off was it 2009 Super Bowl? Or 2008? And the Patriots were like 19 on the season at that point? Or 19-0 on the season at that point?
Oh, you're talking about, yeah, when they lost to Eli.
Yeah.
So, 08, I think.
I mean, I say this fully knowing that the Red Bull is always terrible in Singapore, so.
It was 08. Nice.
Good job. So yeah. There is an element of like respecting a guy's craft that he's winning a lot. I think that is, you have to acknowledge that. And if he does end up leaving Red Bull, which we can talk about that. Yes, I think Max, I would still watch, and I would actually cheer on Max winning every race of the year. Monkey
Yeah, I
paw
think
curl.
that would be awesome.
But it's just one of those things where, like, yeah, the competition might not be good, but chasing those records and making a record that's literally unbeatable for a guy who doesn't even want the records is kind of fitting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, like, you would know that you're watching history in the making. A season that they would probably, it would go down in the books incredible. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe it's his last year at Red Bull. Wouldn't that be a story?
And I love how that story keeps changing now because you have, like, by Thursday, I think it was last week, or Friday, it was, okay, the female employee who accused Horner and all this other shit has been suspended. Okay, good look on International Women's Day Red Bull. Way to go.
Yep.
And then you had, I think it was over the weekend, like, yeah, they're going to look at possibly moving on from Horner. Then it was, no, the team is fully behind Horner. There's no substantial like credibility to these rumors, whatever. And yeah.
And then there was like the whole Marco's going to get suspended because he was the leak, or people think he was the one that leaked everything in the first place.
Yeah.
So
And he met with the Red Bull CEO. Then they're fine. It's just a shit show.
well, basically what's happened, there's two factions, right? Like there's the
And there has
Austrian
been
faction.
There has been Yost Verstappen
Oh, yeah.
talking with Toto. We've seen those.
Yeah.
That could just
Yost
be a
is
high
involved. There's so many rumors flying around about this whole situation too. It's like, it's honestly a big, gigantic dumpster fire of a mess. And
And to use
you
that
know,
analogy,
it's the Austrian side
where
against the
there is
Thai
smoke,
side.
there is fire, right?
Oh, 100%. But it's like, what I think people are getting so muddled in what is the truth behind this, because like there's so many different things coming out from both sides, right? Like the Horner camp one, you know, is obviously like he did nothing wrong. And then there's the Marco Yost camp, which is like, screw this guy, he's got to go down and burn everything related to Horner. You know what I mean? So I don't know what to believe anymore.
I wonder if Yost is kind of pissed off because, like, if they find Red Bull did something bad, will they penalize the team and take away points and, you know, rob Max that way of basically saying, like, hey, okay, you guys have been doing some shit that's against the integrity of F1. We're going to rob, like, we're going to take away 100 points from each driver. Because remember when Aston Martin got docked points for, like, it wasn't technically illegal, it just was kind of questionable type shit? I understand it was, like, stealing, but could you argue an advantage because you were paying off employees instead of actually having an investigation? Looking at other sports that have done similar things recently, sometimes they're penalized, sometimes they're not. It's hard to say.
Well, especially when you have the head of F1 getting questioned about, did you fix last year's Saudi Arabian final standings? Because yeah, clearly there might be some string pulling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I shocked? No, but disappointed? 100%.
I honestly hope Red Bull fires Horner. Would love to see that. Or I would love for them to keep Horner and everyone else leaves. Any other situation besides those two, I'm unhappy with. I want to see chaos.
Yes, always.
Well, I think it's coming. So I don't know. But, you know, over the next, apparently there was that one that you sent us that Horner's going to be gone by the Australian GP. So what, that's next week?
2 weeks?
Next weekend?
No, the week after, I think.
2 weeks? There's 2 weeks in between races? Oh my gosh.
March 22nd.
Okay.
Yay.
Okay. Well, anyway. Should be an interesting couple of weeks.
Also, before we move on from F1 talk, one last thing I want to say from the first two races of the season. Again, might be a controversial take. I actually liked the races on Saturday.
Yeah, I kind of like them too. I honestly, it kind of like opened you up to being able to watch like the IndyCar race, and for those who watch the NASCAR race, on Sunday without it feeling like you're spending the whole day watching racing.
Yeah.
Not that that's a bad way to spend a Sunday, but it's like if you wanted to do other things, like you still had your morning to do things, and like you could turn the races on in the afternoon.
Yeah. I enjoyed being able to watch qualifying at work. That was kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just go and just, okay, race is Saturday. Nice.
Yeah.
I'm going to plead the fifth on that.
What do you mean? Did you not? Did you not? Were you not able to watch it
I
at
was
all?
unable to view racing while I was working.
You could watch the highlights on your break, maybe.
Yes, that's what I
Don't
did.
you get a lunch?
Allegedly.
Okay. Anyway.
Oh dear. Okay. We are concerned.
Just trying to think anything else of the NASCAR side or F1 side of things before we move on to NASCAR.
I was gonna say, do you want to mention Massa?
God,
Oh,
no, I
please.
actually don't. I really don't want to mention Massa still trying to win a championship that he lost.
Stop. Like what? How many years ago? 16 years ago?
God.
Get over it. I wouldn't mind talking about the Formula Academy and that shit show of a second race where
Yep.
what was it Dorian Pin
Mm-hmm.
or Pan or something, I can't remember how to pronounce it.
She's French.
She says
Probably
Pin.
should have asked.
She says Pin.
She says Pin?
Yes.
Then it's Pin.
However, every commentator said Pain.
I don't see an A in there,
I agree.
so I don't know where
Well,
they're buying
if
a
she
vowel
says
from.
it's Pen, then we'll go with what she says her last name is, her like how she pronounces her own last name, instead of the commentators who are known to get things wrong.
I still love like this
So.
reminds me of like early 2008, 2009, like F1 when it was Sebastian Vettel,
Mm-hmm.
not Vettel. Anyway, yeah, so Dorian Pin kicked ass this week in the Formula, Academy races.
Academy.
They were pretty entertaining, a little hectic. Honestly, I would kind of feel like those races would be better with more cars on the grid. The F3 cars being like a 16 car field is kind of small, kind of sad.
Okay.
So I would say put a little more resources behind that and get more cars out there. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen like the lower like F3s, F4s. It's like 20, 30 cars sometimes.
Wow.
Yeah, there's always fighting and stuff. There's never a boring part of a race that it can happen. I mean, yeah, you could have someone run away with it like you had this week. But yeah, 16 I feel like on a full F1 track is a little much. Or not enough actually. But anyway, Dorian Pin, yeah, kicked ass. Won too hard apparently on the second race. Took the checkered flag, didn't realize it, I guess. Drove around and got it again. And they're like, 20-second penalty or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think it upgraded pulling. I'd be pulling to the win.
Yep.
Yes.
So, thoughts?
Who
Inconsistent
didn't
ruling.
do their job?
I was just going to say complete bullshit, but like, okay, I think we're all kind of on a similar page with this.
Somebody did not do their job correctly.
Elaborate.
Well, I mean, so either like there was a breakdown in communication somewhere. Like her team didn't tell her that she had already taken the checkered flag. She couldn't see the checkered flag because it was put out too late. Who knows? Like, I don't really know. You know what I mean? But somebody did not do the job correctly, because I feel like it's super unfair to, like, somebody messed up. It wasn't her. I don't think it was her fault. So, yeah.
I was gonna say, it's just, if you're going to penalize her, fine. At least get the penalty right. It's been a 10-place grid penalty in the past for the next race. Give
Really?
her that.
Ooh.
That's I'm trying to find, because I had it at one point, but someone or a bunch of people were instantly pointing to, I think it was someone in F2 was the last time it happened. So unless the rules changed since then, which it might have, maybe, in which case, sure, fine, you got it right. But it's usually a 10-place grid penalty for the next race. Which, fair, sure.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
You can argue that, well, it's a safety thing, okay, but there was a breakdown in the radio, whatever. Regardless, I think if you're gonna make the ruling, at least make it consistent, and don't take a win away.
No, that's fair. I think that's very fair. Because yeah,
Trying to find
she earned that win, and I don't think that really is a reason to take it away.
No.
But anyway, you know they're not taking a win away from him. Joseph
No.
Newgarden?
No.
Maybe?
Yep.
Christopher Bell? I don't know. Where do you guys want to go with this?
I don't really know if there's anything that stands out to me in the IndyCar race other than big sad for Marcus Ericsson. That was painful to watch.
I think the bigger news from IndyCar this weekend was like apparently a bunch of the teams got together and had a meeting of like, Roger, we're not liking where this is going.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and like apparently there was a big sit down with like a bunch of the teams. I think it was like the big teams. It was Andretti, Rahal, McLaren, Shank. Basically all the teams that were not poor teams. So no Foyts, no
Juncos.
no, Juncos was part of it actually. It was like
Oh, okay.
because like they've actually wanted to spend money. Yeah, it was like no Foyts, no what the fuck's Dale Coyne, and there's another one also. Maybe Ed Carpenter, maybe. Anyway,
I was gonna say Ed Carpenter, maybe, but
so yeah, they had basically the
wow.
whole thing of like, hey, we have a meeting, and they also had a meeting of themselves, and then also with Penske of not really. Apparently, it wasn't a bad meeting. It was very it was well met, and they had some ideas, and they're like, hey, we need to see some kind of growth and change because let's be honest, they've been shooting themselves in the foot since Penske's fucking taken over. Which, yes,
Yeah.
some of it is bad luck. Some of it is just really stupid decision making, and some of it is laziness or trying to copy other teams. Like a big part of this was in response to like the charters, and that whole issue. I think there were some press conference questions about the charter system too, and basically, how teams feel on it or feel on the idea of like guaranteed spots. So if the idea is going to be out there, I think it's great for fans and press to put the feet to the fire of like the owners on this thing. So yeah, that was the thing that happened. Just trying to think what else there was. Oh yeah, one of the quotes was Michael Andretti said, "Penske Entertainment needs to do more or sell the series."
Mm-hmm.
Now tell us your real thoughts.
Yeah, give me the series, yelled Michael Andretti.
Don't know if he can say that, but I mean, I'm not saying who he should sell it to. I'm just saying maybe sell it to someone who's very involved, clearly has a lot of capital lined up, ready to go somewhere. Where? I don't know.
However, out of this whole meeting and a lot of these teams voicing frustration with IndyCar, apparently a small group of team owners is forming a subcommittee to focus on growing the series.
That's good.
Well,
series
I
growth,
love
guess.
that. I love that.
Like,
because it's so needed.
That's a good way to look at how they actually, do it, right? Like, if you look at F1, one team can just kibosh an entire conversation when it comes to regulations, when it comes to money being basically given out. You need to have all teams agree or none. This is a situation where you have some very big teams, maybe not a consensus like all teams, but big teams, big money come forward and say, hey, we need to right the ship. And Penske is a team owner and series owner. Looks at the standings of the last race. Yeah, that checks out. He's definitely owning the series.
Yep.
So I'm hopeful they can do stuff. Like, let's be honest, in 10 years, Chip won't be here. Penske won't be here. Who else? Probably some other guys. They're fucking old, rich white dudes. They're not going to be alive in the next 20 years. So make a series that can survive past you. It's not that hard.
Yeah, 100% agree.
But yeah. Anything else of interest for IndyCar? I'm just trying to check my notes here, see if I have anything else. I don't think. Did you guys have anything for IndyCar?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, other than I am firmly on the Grosjean hater train now.
Wow.
Guys, I've really switched I'm switching it up this year. I now Hamilton
She loves
apologist,
Hamilton. Yep.
Grosjean
Grosjean.
hater.
Wow. What a heel turn.
Hamilton signs to Ferrari, completely does a 180 on every opinion I've ever had.
I'm glad to know you actually have no values and you're willing to sell yourself out. I think that's a great thing.
Is that not the
Red Bull way? Yeah,
like
I think so.
excuse me? I think it's the Ferrari way. It's the Delulu Ferrari way.
No,
So
the
just
Ferrari
trying to...
way is look good, but be shit. That's the Ferrari way.
Okay, fair. Anyway, no, I think it's, I don't know. I like Callum Ilott, so I think maybe I'm a little bitter that they just let him go and then they signed Grosjean, who apparently just still cannot finish a race. So
And
anyway,
can't get through the race without hitting someone.
yeah, it's just like, come on. I mean, like, I'm happy that I don't know, like, I like Grosjean as a person, as a driver. I'm less and less enthused by his driving abilities. So anyway, we can move on to NASCAR. That was really my only last thought on IndyCar.
I just want to say, Keith and Simpson, good job. Good job out there. Keep doing what you're doing, buddy.
Sean has to
14.
bandwagon one racing thing every year, so I'm glad.
100%. It's Keith and Simpson. Yep, definitely going to jump on that bandwagon. Oh, and just to add insult to injury to the Grosjean, who he replaced, Callum Ilott, also a very respectable 13th this weekend, filling in for David Lucas. So
10 out of 10. I love it. Good job, Simpson. Good job, Ilott.
Can we give the trophy to Newgarden now?
Yeah.
What did we say? It was like
pretty good.
As long as he's in it, he has a very good chance of winning come oval season. Yeah. Okay, but if he's winning...
If he's winning beforehand, uh-oh.
It could be the year of Joseph Newgarden for the championship.
Oh, Peter's going to hate that. Doesn't he hate Newgarden?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't
know if he does.
I'm pretty sure he does. You should talk to him about that.
Well, you know what? Some of his opinions are wrong. So...
Okay. Why is he a Ferrari and or Lewis hater now? So that's your issue. That's gonna be your falling out. You've switched to the dark side.
Falling out. No, he's just an Alonso lover till the end of the earth, and he. Yeah. It's he.
Sorry,
yeah.
what?
Okay. Anyway, whatever. I'm not saying Alonso's bad. I would just there's better drivers out there. But anyway, NASCAR?
Wants to jump onto NASCAR? Mildly shocking.
So here's the thing. A lot of people didn't like this race. This is the first race with that new, I guess, intermediate package for the next-gen car.
Okay. I need just to, because I still don't understand it. Can someone explain to me what you mean by package?
So every single race, there's different rule sets of how you can run your car. Short tracks have, I think, maybe a little more power, different like brake duct configurations or venting in the front, different size spoilers. As much as the cars are the same, they're kind of modular, so you can change around what you can get. Like for the super speedways, they run larger taper spacers, I think it are. Again, it used to be restrictor plates. Then came in tapered spacers, which basically kill the power on all the cars. And that's why you see they have is it 500 something horsepower, Steven?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's based on the track that they're at, depending on what kind of track or how long it is, whatever.
Yeah, there's a intermediate track package, which is usually your 1.5 to 2 mile package. which is pretty
Okay.
standard. You have your super speedway package, which is your Daytona, Talladega, and Atlanta. Yeah, and then you have your short
Okay.
track, which is like everything mile and shorter.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Because I was seeing that. I know that you guys talked about packages before, and I'm like, what is this? Please explain. Because okay.
Yeah.
Basically, it's like a different setup that's like
Yeah.
for the track that they're at.
Yeah,
Cool.
and like a different rules allocation for that specific track. Kind of like how
Interesting.
IndyCar has the super speedway, the short oval, and the road course.
Right.
IndyCar is
Okay.
a way more simplified version. The NASCAR one is a lot more under the hood and possibly in, I guess, the spoiler and little bodywork that's not as noticeable. But yeah, so
Okay.
that's kind of the packages that are for there. Anyway, they have the new intermediate one because last year, for the last couple of years, the new car, everyone kind of says, huh, the intermediate package kind of sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Which
And
actually...
it still sucks.
I actually disagree. I think the intermediate package is actually pretty decent.
Okay.
I think the short track package has been one of the weaker ones. Super Speedway is Super Speedway. But anyway, people complained because there wasn't a big battle for the lead for this race. Christopher Bell kind of came through the field in the second half, ran away with it. The Toyotas, my God, the Toyotas looked good. And I think Chevy is kind of doing an oh shit moment now because in the top, let's just go through this, top 12, how many Chevys do you think there are?
2?
1.
So,
Oh no, are there none?
no, there's one. There is one.
Who?
Ross Chastain was the only Chevy guy in the top 12.
Wow. Oh my gosh! Wow, didn't we say that we thought the Chevys were gonna have like a good car this year and like
No,
maybe be
it's
dominant?
the Fords and Toyotas because they have the new car. They brought a new package, a whole new body, new aerodynamics.
Wow.
They're figuring out those cars fast, and on the first real non-super speedway track, I should guess second because you had Vegas last week, but
Right.
yeah, they kind of kicked ass.
Well, Bell was dominant for most of, was it the third stage?
It was
or for
the
most
second
of the race?
half. You had Bell, but you also had Blaney up there and Reddick for the first half of the race. They kind of
All in Toyotas.
and the very first one you had Gibbs. So yeah, the Toyotas look really strong.
Might be some interesting competition as the season goes on.
Yeah, and people were complaining again. There wasn't a whole lot of battles, but coming in with the stats, this race had the most green flag passes of any next gen race at Phoenix.
Wow.
Yeah, it had 2,813. The previous one was 2,584. So about 300 more passes. So again, a lot of on-track action. The fact that you maybe didn't see it, you shouldn't blame on the track and the package. Maybe you got to blame the TV for not picking it up. There's always battles happening. You just got to find the ones you want to focus on. Sometimes NASCAR does a really bad job of just following around the leader and not actually focusing on the pack, which they really should do more. But yeah.
Well, and take into context, again, the new Ford and Toyota just figured it out this weekend.
That's
so
true.
give it a couple weeks, let them come back to the pack.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
But I think it was also like the largest margin of victory in the next gen era.
I think something like that, yeah.
So doesn't help, but from a TV standpoint, but yeah, give it when you bring in the context of new regulations, give it a couple weeks.
No, that's
Other
true.
teams will figure it out. Toyota just rolled with something, figured it out. It wasn't like it looks like it's really just one team sort of figured it out too. Well, I mean, there's a lot of Toyotas up there, but wasn't like they all ran away with it.
No, that's true.
So
one team had, and sister team too, had the dominant package of the day.
Yep. Let Ford figured it out. Let's see what Chevy can do in
But
response.
Even McDowell was up there, which you got to be like for Ford is.
Yeah.
He's usually a guy running like 15th to 25th, maybe into the 10. So. But yeah, interesting. I have a question, Stephen, because you are the keeper of the knowledge.
Okay, am I?
Can we go through the fantasy? Just out of curiosity. Because Taylor was talking shit beforehand how she thinks she had a great week in IndyCar.
Well,
And she thinks she did well in NASCAR, so...
I mean, IndyCar, it's a 4-point difference after one race.
Oof, that's tight.
Sean's leading at 109.
Boo.
Thanks to O'Ward and McLaughlin.
No,
and also
no. Thanks
Kirkwood
to Kiffin
and
Simpson. Thanks to Simpson.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the fact that you had 2 of the top 3. It's all Kiffin Simpson who finished 14th. Yes, clearly. Taylor was weighed down by her second pick in Marcus Ericsson, scoring only 5 points.
Yeah. See, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh, Newgarden won, and I was like, oh, but
Had
Marcus
Newgarden.
Ericsson did not finish.
Yep, and then I'm just sort of scattered throughout the middle in last.
Okay.
So, but it's a 4-point difference after one race.
Yeah,
So,
NASCAR is what?
I'll be
A
honest.
different story?
I feel like for IndyCar, I'm going to live or die by Kiffin Simpson. I'll be honest. I feel like I can have a really good 3.
Yes.
If he has a great year, I am running away with this. If not,
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
fucked.
Yes. Well, I mean, yeah, having a good rookie can really be helpful. For example, in NASCAR, where Ty Gibbs has snuck his way into the top 5 and is what? Well, he kind of is, isn't he?
Well, he's a baby.
It's like his second, third season.
He's like, is it really? Or,
yeah.
No, there's no
It's
way.
his second season.
Okay.
Yeah, not a rookie. Anyway.
The young drivers can help make or break your season.
Yeah.
There, is that better?
Fine.
He's having his breakout season. Anyways. So I've got 4 of the top 5. So I'm 168 points up on Taylor, who's in second.
Yes.
Well, the problem for both of you is you both have an absolute anchor.
Yeah.
The good news is it was your last pick, at least.
Okay.
Logano's only scored 51 points to start the season.
Oh.
Keselowski's at 75. So.
And, Logano's had some bad luck, but all right, yeah. Okay.
To be fair, I don't count anything to do with the super speedway races. Fuck those. If we're only going back to like the last 2 weeks, I think that changes a lot of the conversation. Because
But
okay, for this week, okay, I have Buescher. Oh look, he was second. I have Keselowski. Oh look, 4th. Hamlin, what was he? 11th. Okay, not the greatest. Where the fuck is Elliott? Was he that bad? Oh god.
He was 19th.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, moving on from that conversation.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I had Gibbs in 3rd, Blaney in 5th, so Reddick in 10th.
Is this for the championship or for like the season?
No, just for this week.
No. Are these picks for the whole who's going to win the championship at the end of the year or the season? Who's the best? Just out of curiosity.
No, it's for the whole season. Like, who's the best?
Shit. Okay, I'm fucked.
What are you doing? Like,
excuse
me. You were hoping that it wouldn't be as bad, right?
Oh yeah.
No, I had to take whoever was in the 9 car for 8 weeks last year. Fuck off. Let me have my NASCAR moment.
Fine.
For now.
And don't forget, we are 4 races into a 36 race season.
Yeah, there's still lots of racing to happen.
That's fair. Does anyone have anything else to talk about? Nothing?
No, I think we're pretty good.
Okay.
This week. It's going to go from a very busy week to a very quiet week because all we have is Bristol.
At least it's not Bristol
true.
dirt.
Exactly, it's the regular spring Bristol, so that's nice. But we get a nice break before Australia, and IndyCar, we aren't going to hear about an actual race for a month.
A month.
Okay, $20 in the
Bet.
Bristol though that it rains.
Sure.
I mean, it almost
Does
rains.
it usually rain?
It has for like the last 3 years.
Oh, great. So basically, we will not be getting a race on Sunday. We'll be getting a race on Monday.
Which means, Steven,
We can all watch it while we work.
I was gonna say, who always wins on Mondays?
Denny?
William
Hey. Okay, that was one time. Doesn't count. Super speedways do not count.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Did you say Denny?
Yes.
Okay. Lols. All right. We'll see.
Yes, we will. And on that note, thank you very much for listening. We'll be back next week.
Thank you for tuning in to the Spare Parts Racing Podcast. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and follow the show on Twitter at Spare Parts Racing. That's Spare Parts RACIN, and on TikTok at Spare Parts Pod. Follow the hosts at Sean Chavarella, at Stephen Clary, and at Tay Moore.